access level has recently increased. Excellent. Incoming message.
Good evening and welcome to Behind the Scanner. Your hosts for tonight are Krug from Virginia,
Shannon Martinez from California,
and Jorge Pedrero from Mexico City.
Our special guests tonight are Karl Wood from Portsmouth, UK, and Daniel Lawrence from Pascagoula, Mississippi. Welcome to the show.
The Q&A tool is enabled for tonight's broadcast. Submit your questions throughout the show and we'll ask as many as time allows. If you know someone who would make a great guest, submit their information to us at bit.ly/BTS_guest. Finally, you can watch past episodes and subscribe to our channel at youtube.com/behindthescanner. And now, your hosts of Behind the Scanner.
Hello guys, welcome to episode 43 of Behind the Scanner. And before we start this show, I have to give the welcome to our new host. I think we didn't last time with the other new host, but well, welcome Shannon Martinez for being the new host of Behind the Scanner. And you are muted, Shannon.
That's okay. We still do it too. 43 episodes in, and I guarantee one of us will do it tonight.
It's great to be here. Unmuted now.
Thank you and Frank for joining us.
Yeah, thank you. Well, and now let's go with the first guest of tonight. This is Agent Dreammaster 4, also known as Karl Wood from Portsmouth. Is that okay? In the United Kingdom. Welcome, Karl.
Hi, thank you.
That was pretty good. He got it right. So, welcome, Karl. Thank you for joining us. I think it's the wee hours of the morning over there across the pond, so I appreciate it. And I told you I had a special thing for you. Not really all that special, but I'm a bit of a rugby nut, so I'm actually going to switch the black hat out. So all of you Londoners that are watching, go Quins. Yes. I have been there. I have seen a match. I love the Quins. So, at any rate, thank you for joining us. Let's just jump right into it. As Jorge mentioned, you are from Portsmouth in the United Kingdom. But I have to ask, growing up, you're a lad from Crewe in Cheshire East. You moved 212 miles, or for you, 342 kilometers to Portsmouth, due south, instead of going to Manchester or London or some other place. Why was that?
Well, it tended to be something where I was younger. I didn't really like the north. I've been to Manchester. I've done it all, you see. I've visited a lot of places. Eventually I just thought, right, my friend offered me a place down here where the south is a lot more fun. So I ended up moving everything I did up down there. It's very close to London, so I had a lot of friends from there too. So yeah, that was pretty much it really. I just decided to go one day and never look back.
Just take an opportunity. We like it.
So some people say Ingress is a social networking tool. Can you explain to us what Camfrog is?
Again, another social networking tool, really. It's excuse me. It's a chat program that's very similar to Skype and Hangouts, where multiple people come in the room, you chat there. So, and yeah, we sometimes have party nights there, and you know, we drink together on cam, and you know, we talk, put the world to rights in these rooms. So it's really, really.
Sounds like a great time. So do you manage any chat rooms on the site? And if so, what are those chat rooms?
Yes, I manage one chat room, and I've done for 12 years now. One called the Gay Palace. It's been it's had its ups and downs. It's been off and on, but it's always remained there, and it's been kind of like a safe haven for the LGBT community that's been around the UK. So anyone around the world can join. But yeah, mostly we get Americans and British people in there. But it's been lovely. It's been, you know, we've had parties in there, as I said. We've had drinks in there. You know, imagine it like a big, massive social pub or something where everybody goes in. You know.
You don't actually have to wear pants when you go there, though, as opposed to the regular bar. Right.
Well, places for that too, so you know. Not going too far, got to find a point on it, you know.
Cam Frog Roulette, right? Cam Frog Roulette.
Yeah, there you go. So, have you been able to recruit any of your Cam Frog friends into playing Ingress?
Yeah, I've got about 15 to 20 people involved in Ingress, convinced, because I went crazy over the game. I absolutely loved the idea. So I basically just went, oh, you must download this app. It's absolutely brilliant. You'll love it. It's social. It's, you know, internet connected, everybody around you and all the rest of it. I got a lot of people involved in it, and most of them still play. So, you know, I'm really, really proud that I've done that, you know.
Cool. Cool. So did they, do you know what factions they joined? Were you encouraging them to join your faction, or were you open to either way?
Well, I've got to say that most of them joined the Enlightened because it was me that convinced them into there. I've only had one join the Resistance, just one. But then that's only because everything he's done was coloured blue, and that was the only reason why he went to the Resistance. I'm like, ugh. But never mind. Anyway, that's not neither here nor there. But yeah, most of them have joined Enlightened. I know that's a bit one-sided, and I didn't allow them to not choose Enlightened. So, you know.
Okay. It can be hard sometimes with work and family life to find time to Ingress, but you manage that so well. Do you mind if I ask you what do you do for a living?
Oh, I work as a healthcare assistant in an adults with learning disabilities home.
Are there any aspects of working in healthcare that apply or are complementary to your English experience?
Well, just like everybody else, they need to go out and experience and enjoy the community. I've used Ingress to enable them to see historical points and explore the city a little bit more, especially with the parks, and so I've got a lot of portals in. I've even used Ingress, and you know, they're telling me, oh, look, there's that portal over there, should we go over there and capture that? You know, I've had a lot of involvement with the clients I look after, you know, so yeah, it's been quite fun to get them involved in it and everything else, so it's been brilliant actually.
That is one cool aspect where you get to show the area that you live in to people that live there, but they may not have seen some of those sites, you know, until you actually brought it out and pointed to them. So, but speaking of other cool aspects of the game, let's talk about the social aspect a little bit more. You seem to be a little bit of a social butterfly, perhaps. I don't know. I'm getting that feeling, the vibe from you. So, you know, meeting people I think is always fun. Doesn't matter what faction they are. Having a farm to build on Friday night makes planning the week, my free time, easy. But what aspect of the social game, not just the game, but the social game, is your favorite?
Ooh, well, the Hangouts have enabled me to link up and join and literally automatically make friends with all of these people around. So when they have these farms, and stuff like that. I've managed to, you know, on my free time, shoot down to one. I mean, there's one in particular I'll mention later on. That meant a great deal to me. And it was just, it ended up being so big and so cross-faction in the end. It was just so wonderful. That, to me, is meeting up, being friends, and whether it's drinks or just social, in, you know, and working with your team. I thought that, to me, is the greatest part of the social aspect of the game.
Has the number of people that you now consider friends that you've met through the game sort of caught you off guard? Did you expect to meet these people while playing the game?
I don't think anybody expects to get the amount of friends that they do. I think that's just presumptuous if you think, oh, I expect a certain amount of number or whatever. You know, so no, of course, I don't think anybody would expect that. So yeah, the friends I've made are over the game and things like that. No one ever expects it. It's been overwhelming and it's been lovely the whole time.
That's terrific. Just a reminder for everyone watching, remember you can submit your questions for our guest. If you're watching us via YouTube, you can just click the banner at the bottom, and then it says be part of the conversation, and then from there just click the square menu icon in the upper right, and select Q8. So getting back to talking about friends and the support they provide, you mentioned to us in private how your Ingress friends were there for you when you were going through a rough time. Can you tell us a little bit about that? You know, what was going on, and how did the agents help you and shepherd you through that?
Well, I won't go into it too much, but basically, I was going through a really difficult time and a difficult breakup with my previous partner. And when it all happened, I messaged a few friends and put it up on my Google Plus page about exactly what happened to me and everything else. Basically, what they'd done then is sent me messages via the Hangouts. They were amazingly supportive, you know, in everything. They gave me people to talk to. They were just wonderful. They were like my shoulder to cry on. They were just really, really loving friends, all of them, which just goes to show, to me, the community of Ingress is so knitted together with such love and friendship. At the end of it, I couldn't have asked for better, because they were wonderful to me, and I will never forget that for as long as I live.
That's terrific. It sounds like a great network that you've built up there.
Thank you.
So, Karl, you being such a social person, what was it like to attend the London Helios Dice Anomaly?
Oh, wow. Right. I just want to say, first of all, Hannah, who you've had on the show before, put so much work into that. She worked tirelessly to make that work. Attending that thing, it was my very first anomaly. I'd never been to one before. She made me feel very relaxed and very looked after. And again, we all met up just before the anomaly at a small little London pub. It turned from 5 people to 20 people in an instant. It was big, and everyone felt loved and looked after. She'd had it organised right down to the T. And then I'd made so many friends just by attending the anomaly. It was really, really wonderful, a really good experience. And I advise anybody, if they haven't been to one, go, because I'm headed to my second one in less than a week's time now. So it's wonderful. Go and do it.
Well, hopefully things will turn out in our favor, but I guess we'll see. Jorge and Shannon may disagree with that. Oh man, I'm outnumbered tonight, aren't I? Oh,
yeah. Finally. Yeah.
All right, Karl. If you had to pick one specific event, you've been playing Ingress for a very long time, so during your entire Ingress playing career, because it does feel like a job sometimes, that sums up your experience. One event that sums up your experience, what would it be? Tell us about it.
That would be the first cross-faction farm I went to. It wasn't originally meant to be a cross-faction farm. We all met very short distance away from here at a local park, and we all ended up like hacking and doing whatever first of all, and you know, deploying and all the rest of that, right? But then we ended up having a social drinks. The next minute, people were bringing wine, and it turned into like a little picnic. And then when the daylight went, we all went off to the pub, and we all ended up having a massive social there. Three other people from the resistance came to join us, and we ended up having drinks with them. It was a wonderful, glorious social experience that anybody could ever wish for, and I got on so well. I had such a laugh that night, and woke up in the morning with a horrendous hangover.
That just means you had a good time.
Oh, I did, definitely.
That's awesome. So do you have any thoughts on the events leading up to the finale of Shonen? And will you be attending the Cardiff Anomaly on the 28th?
Absolutely. I am very, very lucky to have been invited by the fabulous Mr. Fenris Wolf, who I'll mention a bit later on. He reached out to me and said, "Look, come on, you need this. You need to come to another anomaly, and it's going to be it." So I paid my way and did my thing, and between him and Kim, they're gonna take me to the anomaly, and I can't wait. It's gonna be wonderful. I'm very apprehensive. I'm already packed, already ready. I was packed 2 weeks ago. That's how organised I am about the whole thing. But yeah, I can't wait. It's gonna be amazing. I'm gonna have my phone, take lots of photos. So watch my G+ page. I'll have lots of photos and stuff on there of all the things we'll be doing. But it's wonderful.
Hold on, we just have to cover off on one detail. Will you be taking the pink battle suitcase?
Oh,
I think it gives you an advantage. Are there special powers there?
I hope you don't mind, but I'm just going to switch for a minute and do that, because that's the thing that people know what it is. That's my little battle suitcase. It's going to be going with us. I had that ready, but yeah, that's definitely going with me. It's all packed, ready. All I've got to do is dip and go when I'm told to go to the meeting point. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Really excited.
That's great.
Well, Karl, your first portal, the one that you first submitted, came online this month after being in queue monkey for the last 6 months. So have you submitted another for a batch or something like that? And how much do you think you are going to wait for those to come online?
I'll probably have to wait another 6 months for those portals to come online, because I was told that I needed another 4. That portals, apart from taking 6 months, were a collection of 8 that I'd done within a couple of months of each other. Most of those wasn't accepted for whatever reason, but the 2 of them were, and one of them is the one you saw. So yeah, I did do a few more, but I think it's gonna take another while before I get to it. But it is possible. That's what I want to say to everybody. It is possible. Don't lose heart. Just keep taking those portals, because they do get online.
Hopefully this year, Karl. Hopefully. This is the batch that you treasure the most, or there are any other that it's your favorite?
Do you know what? I wish I could say that there's a particular badge that I've really strived for and really proud of. Well, the thing is, they've added so many new ones recently. I don't know which to be proud of anymore. You know. So I can't really say there's one particularly I'm proud of. I'm trying to get my connectors badge. Well, I've got the bronze one, but I'm trying to get the silver one. I might get it before the anomaly. I don't know, but I'm just like 20 or 30 off of it right now, so it's going to be imminent before I get that. So I'm looking forward to it now.
So, Karl, the world must know the answer to this question. Is the dress blue and black?
To me, it was white and gold to begin with, and then it changed. So you know what? Change either way.
Yeah, I gotta say, I saw the same thing too. It was white and then it was blue.
Yeah, it's the best color.
Yeah.
The dress chose factions.
It went from being Niantic to Resistance?
Yeah.
Okay. Karl, are you ready for some audience questions, some viewer questions?
Fire away.
All right. We had a couple. It looks like, where the heck did it go? There's one from Joe Thoreau. He wants to know if you have any tips on keeping a community strong and growing.
Oh, wow, that's lovely. I guess just keep an open mind and be friendly. Just be understanding of everybody's situation. You know, not everybody's fighting the same battle as you. It's always different for everybody. Just have a good heart and listen and be an active member of whatever community you create. I think that's pretty much the key to it all, I think.
Yeah, good listening. That's always a good tip, too. There's one in here. I don't know which guest it's for, but it actually can apply to both of you, so I'm going to ask it. It's from, Misha Krylov, who actually we'll mention in the next segment. So this one's probably for Daniel, but I'm asking for you, Karl. Why did you choose your agent name?
My name?
Yep, Dream Master 4. Where'd that come from?
It goes way back. Right, like when I was about 11 or 12. I used to be part of the CB radio back then. Now I know that our American friends still use the CB radio quite a lot, but that's somebody, and all around at that time was the Freddy Krueger movies, and so somebody suggested Dream Master, right? And I thought that was such an amazing name, and it's adapted to whatever I've done throughout the whole of my life. So it was a really good choice because it's just adapted to me. And even if you search me on Google, Dream Master 4, everything to do with everything I've done in the last 30 years is all listed there. So just take a look.
So I just want to make sure I got this right. You chose it for a murdering rapist psychopath who entered children's dreams and burned their houses down. All right, that's not what I would have expected given your personality, but you know what? That was 30 years ago. I'll take it. It works. So, all right. We have another one from Anthony Sharples. He wants to know. So we asked previously your favorite social moment, but he wants to know what your favorite moment, just in general, is of playing Ingress.
Well, Mr. Anthony Sharples is my ex-boyfriend, and I love him dearly. My favourite moment was going to London with him and experiencing the anomaly. I think we both had such an amazing day that day. It's something we both would treasure for the rest of our lives. It's wonderful.
That's very cool. Yeah, and I'm sure you probably got some souvenir keys and other things from it.
Oh, I got hundreds of them. No.
All right, so this is one. Oh, did we get another one in? Otherwise, we do. Hold on. There's one more. I was going to ask one personally, but we'll go. Joe Thoreau has another one. Karl, as you run a LGBT community, do you think Ingress has helped acceptance, and any advice to grow the acceptance?
Ooh, big question, that.
Good question, yeah.
Yeah, very good. I think the people that I've connected with has it's done that with. You know, I think it's definitely had that help. You know, every community needs that lift, and I think, you know, my presence and my outgoing personality has really helped it. As for continuing to grow, I think in a lot of cases it can do it on its own, but with the right support from, you know, good friends who good support you and all of these things. So I don't think there's any problems. It's just, you know, it takes its own momentum, I feel, you know.
Yeah. I I will say that I do think it's very cool that Ingress does cross a lot of those stereotypes and barriers. You know, the game doesn't care what your orientation is as long as you're capturing and deploying on your faction's portal. So that's always a very cool aspect of it. But I think that's it. We could probably keep going on, but you know, we do have another guest to get to, so we'll end it there with the guest questions.
That's fine.
Well, so then that means it's time for our BTS tradition, for better or worse. We give every guest at the end of their interview 60 seconds to talk about whatever they want. Give a shout out, whatever you want to do. Whenever you're ready, Karl, go ahead.
Thank you. Yeah, my 60 seconds is going to be basically shout-outs. First of all, my Ingress lot, John Rugman, Andrew Rugman, Hugger Rug as I call him, Fenris Wolf, God love that man, I love him dearly, Kim, Lucas, oh, so many more, God, it's too many to list. From Panfrog, Ben, Lynn, Ducky, Kina. Oh God, there's so many, I can't remember them all. But they've all been really, really wonderful. They've all joined together in everything we've done. I love you dearly. Thank you for being there for me. That's all I have to say, really. You know, you've all been wonderful. Thank you.
That's good enough. We'll take it.
That's great. Thanks, Karl.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Karl, for joining us. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And before we get to our second guest, it's now time for the Weekly Truth. This week we have Jose joining us from Operation Essex. He is going to catch us up on what's going on in the Ingress storyline, and we'd like to welcome Jose from Operation Essex Investigator.
Hello everyone, I'm so glad to be here again. As always, I'm here every week to tell you what's going on with the Niantic project in the Ingress storyline. So, to begin with, there's not been much this week except for one thing. Hank Johnson. We all know that Hank Johnson has come back to life. There were some posts last week about Hank Johnson coming back to life and he not being an XM entity. But how do we know that's true? He went ahead and he used Asmati's dagger, which is a dagger which contains poison, in order to stab himself. And he did not recover successfully as an XM entity would do. So he says that with that proof, he's no longer an XM entity. However, he remembers everything, and he's willing to try and share the truth of what he's found out in his several trips, in order to try and find out the anomalies, how they work, what is XM, what is dark XM. And there's so many things right now that are floating around with Devra shards. How did Devra shard herself? Also, I told you about Truth Seeker last week. Truth Seeker was a project from Richard Loeb, and we're trying to find out how was Truth Seeker based, how was Truth Seeker created, or how can this artificial intelligence can be formed, because there's no apparent reason to just create an artificial intelligence or a database with things, but we're trying to find out what's going on there, why was this created, with what purpose, and why was it used to form and create Ada? Why wasn't another artificial intelligence used as a base for Ada? Why this specific artificial intelligence? There's some speculations about who is Edgar Allan Wright, Operation Essex founder. There's a lot going on in there, but we cannot give more information about that because there's nothing defined yet. But yes, we are having some investigations about Dr. Edgar Allan Wright, and I guess that's all for this week. As I said, there's not been much. The little that's happened was pretty intense, but that's it for now.
So, real quick, because I did catch a tidbit somewhere, wasn't there something with Devra, what did she do or say, or She
inoculated herself. She used the vaccine. We believe this vaccine was made of chaotic matter or dark XM, and she injected herself during an interview she was having with Hugh Longchamp Global. She injected herself with this vaccine, which had a 30% rate of failure. She survived, but we didn't know what was going to happen. Now we know what happened. Deborah is sharded. Deborah's like moving around the world. She's having a little bit of touring. She's visiting some places, some exotic places. But yeah, Deborah was sharded. But we don't know what's going to happen once the shonen finale comes here. We don't know if Deborah's going to be the same Deborah that we know, if she's going to lose all her memories, if she's going to be Resistance or Enlightening Align, or if she's not going to have any alignment. What's going to happen with Deborah, we are not sure. What's going to happen with Deborah at the end is just a mystery, and it all depends, I believe, on what she was willing to do before she injected herself with the inoculation.
Yeah, I guess that was one of the posts I read, was that, before she essentially became part of the XM network, I guess, for lack of a better term, she wanted to do some pretty nasty things. So is it really in our best interest as either faction to try to bring her back and align her or do something? I don't know. Any thoughts on that? Do we want to make her more powerful, I guess?
The only thing we have a little trouble in here with the Ingress storyline and the things we do. We don't know the results of what we do until it happens. So we need to take the risk somehow.
All right. Well, then let's risk it. So we'll see what happens. She's gonna come back and scorch the earth, and Hank Johnson, who's actually now he's human, won't be able to help much. So the takeaway is Hank committed seppuku, killed himself with a knife, and we're all trying to erase for the Deborah shards. So thank you, as always. Appreciate you catching us up. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of stuff coming in the next week, 2 weeks especially, with the finale just around the corner. So as always, my man, thank you very much. And that means that it is time for the code of the show.
Yay.
Get it queued up here. These are highly shareable, redeemable codes. I have no idea what's in them. They're usually pretty good stuff, but so this week we only have one. There it is, like magic. It appears from the skies. Isn't it lovely? Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah.
We'll leave that up there for a little bit. So take a screenshot of it, share it around, or write it down, share it around, do whatever you need. Again, these codes are actually highly redeemable. I'm not really sure what that means, but I'm pretty sure it's more than 10. Go nuts. And 5, 4, 3. Has everybody got it? Yeah, okay. I see Karl is probably writing it down, or yeah, he is. Okay,
Yeah.
I'll give him another second. He's reading slow. One more. Okay. Stuck his finger up, and it's gone. Okay, there we go.
Yeah.
So moving on. Where are we now? Let's see.
Well, we are in our second guest for tonight. This is a resistant player that is well known and respected in the resistance side and in the English world too. So I'm proud to introduce tonight Daniel Lawrence, also known as, here's the difficult part, Agent DGL 3906464 from the United States. Hello, Daniel.
Hey, welcome, Daniel. You have to unmute yourself.
I'm not muted.
There you go. Perfect. Welcome.
Then you have to
That's all right.
stop.
Hi, guys.
Welcome. Good evening, my man. So, welcome, Agent 464. We appreciate it. We'll get to the name in a little bit, but first things first, I actually know you as a guy who I follow specifically because of all the Ingress-related swag you've got. So, how much stuff do you have, and what are your top 3 pieces of swag?
You know, I got into swag. A lot of my community involvement is mediating and squashing drama, and I kind of got into swag as kind of a distraction from the more stressful aspects of playing Ingress. And it really just became a fun thing. You meet people that are out there trying to enjoy something, as opposed to having to be dealing with anybody with drama on their mind. So for me, I've gone through a lot of swag. I trade it. I've auctioned it for various charities, and for me, I've culled my collection down to lapel pins, challenge coins, and bio cards. And beyond that, I only keep a couple of small items that really have a meaning. One of those that for me was kind of a gateway into swag was the JJ patch. I know y'all had Jeff on the scanner before, and that really opened a door for me. It showed me what the game could achieve that was not a kind of standard thing for an online gaming community. It was really a shift in how people treated each other in an online game. So that was a really special time. And then the next piece that I just
Did we lose him?
No! Daniel!
Come to the light. Come to the light.
No. Keep on the resistance side.
I didn't mean the enlightened.
Oh, yeah. Oh, sorry.
We can hear you now.
There you are.
Okay. So, but those are probably my favorites. Hellcat button is also a strong favorite of mine.
Very cool.
I think I didn't hear your favorites. It was the Kraken on them? No.
Well, you know, you haven't done the Kraken coin, George. We keep talking about it.
Yeah. Okay. Next question.
When I come back from Pasadena, I'm actually going to have some extra coins, and I will get you a BTS bio card. Obviously not an official Niantic thing, but maybe we'll do some trades. So.
Excellent. Just let me know.
So Daniel, let's cut to the bone here. As a software developer, an all-around sci-fi fan that we know you are, what are your thoughts on the Ingress Scanner app's user interface?
You know, when you look at software, there's two different ways to look at software. The first is you look at it from an idealistic perspective and say, this is what it really should be. It should be perfect, right? And the second way to look at it is from an engineering perspective, which is what is it going to take to make our users come back? What's it going to take to make our users keep using it and be excited? And in the first category, there's a lot to be desired in the scanner, in that it doesn't really fit with storyline if it were a tool actually being used by agents. Some of the things that the community has been screaming for, it would have been implemented, right? But if you consider their limited resources and their ability to produce a piece of software from an engineering perspective, their time is spent on new features and attracting and keeping new members. And I think that their resources, their development resources, as limited as they are very well used to pull new members and retain them. I would certainly love better key management for capsules, many other things. Some of the layouts that I've seen put out there for scanner updates would be great. But let's be realistic with the limited development resources they have. They're really doing the smart thing, and that's pulling new players and activating new players.
Good answer. So now I've got the real question, the most important one, which is Star Wars or Star Trek?
You know, I'm going to probably make a million enemies here. I'm going to have to go with Trek, and the reason I'm going to go with Trek is because the new trilogy for Star Wars it really sucked compared to the old trilogy. You know, they didn't use Kasdan. John Williams got lazy in the score. Didn't do anything with Vader's original theme and Anakin. He came up with some lighthearted new thing. It was weak. I'm glad to see that when Disney came out with the plans for the new trilogy that they included Kasdan and some of the better writers and producers from the first trilogy.
So, which Trek generation though is your favorite? But yeah, if you had to rank them in priority.
No.
Come on, let's piss more people off. Go for it.
Yeah.
No. I've already made enough.
Scott Bakula was your favorite captain, wasn't he?
Yeah.
I'm betting Picard. Well, Daniel, before I go to the next question, it's really nice the picture you have in your back right. It looks really cool. Yeah.
That was a anniversary gift from my wife. We had a artist paint over a photograph for us. Thank you.
It's a really nice picture. Well, have you always been a gamer, or was Ingress your first MMO type game?
It's odd when you ask about gaming. I always enjoyed puzzles. I always enjoyed playing. Majority of the gaming I did when I was younger was Dungeons and Dragons, logic gaming. I've very rarely played any software. The exceptions would be puzzle games like Seventh Guest, or some of the Tomb Raider series when it was early was unique and it had problem solving. But I never really got into PC gaming or console gaming. So playing a computer game or playing an online game like Ingress was something relatively new to me.
So how does Ingress compare to the other games you have played? Daniel?
Oh no! Live entertainment, everybody.
Yeah.
Live entertainment.
Come on. You can do it, man. You can do it.
Come back to us. You know what?
Come. Grab the key.
There he is.
There we go.
Oh, there you are.
I never lost y'all. Y'all just lost me. That's very strange. In terms of logic puzzles and that kind of thing, those are very isolated. In terms of Dungeons and Dragons, which I played quite a bit of in high school and college, you get a lot of strong interaction with people, but it's with a very small group, and it's in a closed setting. So Ingress is quite different in that it brings you into a much larger community very quickly, whereas a lot of the gaming I've done in the past is either solitary or small group focus. So it's really pretty unique in how it brings people together, which is a constant theme, I guess, for all of your guests.
Yeah, I mean, it really is. The social aspect that as we heard from our previous guest, Karl, can be really powerful. So, all right, let's move on to something maybe as serious. Bear with me as I read a quote from one of your G+ posts. I think it was dated February 28th. I apologize. I'm going to lean into the screen here because my eyes are getting old. You said, "I feel as a mental exercise in graph theory with directional dependence. Sometimes the goal is maximum AP with balanced node distribution. Other times, like here, the picture up, the intent is node-focused AP where the outer two portals can be Jarvis cycled for 45,000 hourly." I'm going to guess, is it safe to assume you like to field and just see how you can maximize things?
Yeah, I have a minor in math because I like playing with math puzzles.
So figuring out triangles and how to maximize the triangles is something that's right up your alley, I guess, huh?
Daniel.
Oh, he's still talking to us, and now, yeah. He'll be back. I can feel it.
Yeah.
Jarvis is talking. There he is. Okay.
Yeah, it's
back
sorry about that. I don't know what's going on, but it's just a complex mental puzzle for me, and I enjoy planning it out and graphing it and and solving the little puzzle. Personally, I don't actually field very much. Most of my involvement with that is I do quite a bit of key farming and meeting lower level players, sub-8 players, showing them the ropes on how to get maximum AP gain, dropping key packs, helping them level, showing them effective fielding techniques so that they can level quickly and effectively.
So it is true that the angle of incidence is equal to the angle of reflection, then, is that correct, when it comes to fields?
Yeah. Really
little math
depends on
joke,
the,
it's okay. Yeah,
I hear you.
I think we've stumped Shannon now. It's okay.
Oh, yeah, sorry. I thought I was sort of expecting another comment, so
No.
I was waiting for it.
just math laugh.
I
Math
just
joke.
thought maybe we were going to go on a little geometry or some sort of tangent.
I think we would lose all the viewers if we did that, so
Yeah.
cut the losses.
So can you talk to us a little bit about Burn? We spoke to some others who've been involved with it from the beginning, and we're interested in your perspective. Why do you think something like that needed to be created?
Secrets.
See, right now his video actually hasn't frozen. He just doesn't want to give away any secrets.
Sure.
So,
That's.
I see. Actually, you know what?
Smile.
Somebody posted on Google Plus that there's a massive DDoS attack going on right now in the U.S.
Right.
No, seriously. Yeah.
That's funny.
There, he's back. He's back.
So, in terms of Burn and how it came to be, when several of us first came up with the concept of Burn, there were several larger active communities out there that were, like the L8 Club. You could find an L8 agent in Tallahassee, but you had no idea who they were. You didn't know if they were an active player, if they were a team player, if they were a solo player. And so the lack of user context in these gigantic communities, whenever you needed to do an operation, you had no context and you had no capability, and it was really, really hampering us on some of the operations we had tried to run. I was fortunate enough to get included on an operation originated out of Louisiana that covered all of Louisiana, most of Mississippi, part of Alabama, into Florida, and met several people that were very active at the time when I was not, in larger operations and broadening a community. And out of that, it occurred to me that they knew a couple of people in the right places. They knew people in Dallas. They knew people in North Louisiana. They knew people in New Orleans. They knew people in Jackson. And if we were ever going to be doing operations in the future, knowing the right people was critical. And that's kind of the genesis, the concept of Burn, is that you needed a clear path of communication for the right people, as opposed to just huge social network that was plagued with a bunch of noise. So I was fortunate enough to be able to put some of the right people with some of the right people. And oddly enough, I say this regularly to the moderator circle and the owner circle. I don't feel like I'm qualified to really be a member, other than because of where I happen to be out of luck. I happen to know some people now, and I certainly don't put myself on the same level as the other Burn.
He'll be back. He's making a humble statement. He's just being humble, and then it sort of is tailoring off into silence. So
Yeah.
it's okay. That was the dramatic end to the build-up.
Well, Well,
TV.
Daniel, come back.
Live.
For everyone that is watching us, remember that you can submit questions for our guests. So, if you are watching us on YouTube, you have to click the banner at the bottom of the video that says "Be part of the conversation." From there, just click the square grid menu icon in the upper right and select Q&A. And Daniel, are you there?
He's moving. I see him moving.
Yeah.
I keep losing y'all. I have no idea what y'all have heard, what y'all have.
The last thing we heard was you don't feel like it's fair for you to be part of the Burn network because of how much everybody else does, and you're just kind of you know some people based off of where you're located. So somebody's screen capturing.
I just feel like
you're back. You're back. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah. So I just, as far as Burn is concerned, I feel like I'm in a lucky place to have been at the right place in the right time, and I just get to watch a collection of fairly amazing people do fairly amazing things. It's pretty entertaining.
Awesome.
Okay, Daniel. Hopefully you're staying with us for a little while. So, speaking of community and achievements, we're involved with United. Walk us through that mission briefly, and what was it like to have the idea and then see the end result?
Oh, wow. Well, first off, the idea wasn't ours. I believe that the idea came out of Germany, and I want to say a guy named Jens came up with the original concept.
Yeah.
Yeah, and when I got involved with Unite Aid, it was shortly after the genesis of Burn, when we had started talking about doing some major ops, because we were excited about finding the right people in the right places, and it was just kind of a organic growth of, well, if we're going to be involving the planet anyway, and we're going to be trying to connect something across the U.S., let's use it. Let's do something fun with it. Because we heard of several independent operations.
Well, he's coming. He's coming back. He might have to turn off his BitTorrent. He might be downloading some stuff.
There he is.
There he is.
It was just Adam Caribbean was looking at doing an operation. The East Coast was looking at doing an operation. We were looking at doing an operation in the Gulf, and the short answer was, well, if this is going on, why don't we just connect them all? And it kind of exploded out of that. I think again, that was very little to do with me as much as floating an idea and watching it explode.
That's very cool. It's always interesting to see how and hear how those missions start and just sort of filter around the world, and then the end result. That was pretty impressive. So kudos for you guys for pulling that off. So, I would imagine, based off of what you said, that you're a person who's looked to for guidance and advice in the game. You mentioned, quashing some conflicts, things like that you do. So do you have any advice to people who are trying to, organize a community or are involved in organizing a community, that tips you would have for them to make it successful?
Based on persons that seem to work the best, not when you try to wrest control and steer things, right? What has turned out most successful for us is when we connect people and empower them and let them do what they need to do. Give them
There's definitely a difference between management and leadership.
Well, that's fair, I guess. But it's, you know, I think that's what made Unite 8 so incredible is it was really a collection of separate ops, and everybody that was running their own ops made those things happen.
So there are so many great causes that Ingress agents try to raise awareness about. You were involved in the Greece cancer auction. How did that turn out, and how's Misha doing these days?
Well, Misha posted a comment earlier asking a question. He's doing well. The cancer auction was actually, I believe, Cade Rue's idea, and he had initially intended to have a small auction as part of Darsana, and it just didn't fit in with the day's schedule. And when
No. We need to ask the important questions up front in case this happens again. A resistance person that Daniel might know, a friend of mine, Pedro Oswick, says to give the man a break, stick with them. You know, they just got internet in Mississippi last week, so still trying to figure out how to use it. So.
Hey-o.
That one, send letters to Pedro Palabra. You can ping him. Oh, Daniel. Let's see. So, Jorge, while we wait for Daniel to come back,
Yeah.
my son told me a knock knock joke today. Are you ready?
Okay.
So knock knock.
Yeah. Who is it?
A broken pencil.
Who?
Never mind. It's pointless. There we go. See,
Nice.
I knew that would pass the time.
Nice.
All right.
Well, Daniel is there. Yeah.
Can y'all see me now? So as far as the Grigri auction,
Hey, Daniel. Let's
I think Daniel has some trouble because he has a lot of enlightened enemies. Somebody is doing something to him.
That could be. How about this? How about when he comes back, we just answer some rapid fire questions from the audience real quick. Keep them short, and then we can let him go so that we don't have to sit around. And there he is. He's back. Can you hear us? Did you hear us?
yeah, I could hear y'all the whole time. I don't know what the separation is, but
All right. So let's do this real quick. Since we have you and you're live, let's answer some viewer questions. So Stephen Schwaller wants to know how many coins do you have?
28.
Wow. All right. And Misha Krylov, he asked the question earlier that we asked to Karl, but we'll ask it to you too. So how'd you get your agent name, and what's with all the numbers is what he wants to know as well.
It was originally my ICQ handle, my ICQ number, and I adapted that as my first Gmail address. I just use it for everything. So if you need to find me anywhere, it's a big internet mystery where to find me.
Wow, ICQ. I have not heard that in a decade or so. Impressive. All right. I don't even remember what the hell mine was. Joe Throw wants to know, in one sentence, how has the game changed your life? One sentence. If you had restricted to one sentence, how has the game changed your life? Wait, he's thinking? Are you there? Can you hear us?
I know somebody from there. It doesn't really matter where. I know somebody from there.
Hey, you know what? That's a great answer. I like that. Yeah, doesn't matter where. I know somebody from there. Perfect. All right. we'll do a couple more while we got your connection, and then we'll probably call it a night. So wow, there's so many good ones. As a problem solver, what would you add to the game that's not design related?
Wow. I think when I start looking at problems, I look at problems in terms of what's plaguing the community, and I think self-moderation has worked in some communities, geocaching specifically. I think it could be viewed self-moderation.
He was gonna make a good point. I feel like it was gonna be epic, eye-opening. It was gonna impact both green and blues. Right, he's back. I hear him. Okay, all right. We got 20 seconds. Go.
Saying that some self-moderation, so I think that applying self-moderation, while it certainly would be more effective reports of cheating than the which is overloading the developers to the point where they have development.
That's a fair point. That's a fair point. I think that would be really interesting to see how that could get implemented in a fair way. I know some other MMOs have done some very creative things. Yeah, that's a good point. That would be very interesting. All right, while you're actually live and we can hear you, let's just kind of wrap it up and end it here. If you want to take 60 seconds and want to attempt it, it's your turn. Why don't you fill up all the time that you have before you cut out on us? How about that? The floor is yours.
I'll take my 15. I'll take my 15 of 60. My strong cross-faction, positive cross-faction relations really do help reduce the stress in both communities, and they that I've seen people feeling of discontent. There's not extra pressure from the anxiety and animosity when you enjoy the game on both sides. So I would promote that. I would say that if your community is poking at each other, they're not making the game better for anybody.
Fair enough.
Great.
Fair point. Yep. So,
Daniel, thank you so much for being with us tonight. We are so sorry we have so many problems with your connection, but it has been a pleasure.
It's been great. I'm sorry I live in Mississippi. It's probably my fault.
No. We've had people dialing in from islands out in the Pacific where, if a plane flew overhead, they would lose their internet connection. So it's all good. It's a global game. People are going to be everywhere. Just thank you for joining us. That's all I got to say. So thank you everybody else for watching.
Thank you, Shannon. You did it great. You did it great.
What an episode. Baptism by fire. How you like that? All right, guys. Appreciate it. Thank you. Join us next week. And happy hacking.
Happy hacking.
I'm definitely going to have to do some swag trading here with Senor Lawrence.
Oh, yeah.
From Pasadena.
There.
How can he have 28 points? I just have one.
You apparently don't trade as much, man. It's out there. That's like, have you seen the swag trading communities? That stuff's like
I'm in there. However, I have a full buy-a card collection.